Episode 405. In a one-on-one duel, 10 minutes is actually a very long time. In the early days of the Glory Pro League, all matches had a time limit. Back then, a one-on-one match had a 5-minute time limit. If the 5 minutes are up and there's no clear winner, victory is decided by whoever has the higher percentage of health remaining. The time limit was originally set for the convenience of the broadcast, but this rule has led to the rise of many cowardly playstyles. For instance, after gaining a certain lead in health percentage, they'd stop engaging the opponent head-on and instead choose to play hide-and-seek across the map. This opened up a lot more tactical options, but this hide-and-seek style of play was terrible to watch. It frustrated the opponent, annoyed the players and audience, and even left the commentators speechless. So the league quickly held a hearing and ultimately abolished the time limit rule. From then on, no match had a time limit. It would only end when one side was dead. This way, even a turtle strategy would require some active engagement. You can't just run away the whole time. At least the entertainment value is guaranteed. But with no time limit on the broadcast, scheduling the program has become a bit of a headache. But at least it's not completely insurmountable. After all, entertainment value is a guarantee of ratings. The broadcasters themselves didn't want to just take the easy route and air some boring, sleep-inducing game of hide-and-seek. The time limit was scrapped, but the original 5-minute duration was a pretty scientific choice. 5 minutes is more than enough for a substantial one-on-one match. In a life-or-death format like this, most one-on-one duels can be wrapped up within 5 minutes. When a match drags past 5 minutes, it's usually because both sides are playing it safe or being downright cagey, slowly grinding each other down. But this match was clearly nothing like that. One autumn leaf and desert dust were clashing with such ferocity, they'd already wrecked nearly a fifth of the map. Where was there even a hint of playing it safe? And yet, with this kind of fighting style, the two of them actually held each other off for a full 10 minutes. That's truly an extremely rare sight. And 10 minutes clearly wasn't the end of it. Both players still had over a quarter of their health left. The audience was utterly dumbfounded. For the commentator to keep droning on about the skills and moves being used would just be boring at this point. The commentators quickly pulled up some stats and started talking about the time.
10 minutes. The one-on-one between Sun Shang and Han Wenqing has already lasted 10 minutes, and both sides still have about a quarter of their health left. At this pace, it should go on for about 13 minutes. Friends familiar with Glory's various records might not find this time too astonishing, but you have to understand, the matches that set those ultra-long times were mostly drawn-out, hit-and-run tactics. A clash this intense, lasting over 10 minutes, in all my years of commentating, this is the first time I've ever witnessed it firsthand.
He went on and on, but since this situation was so unexpected, he naturally hadn't prepared for it. A quick search now wouldn't be enough to sort out the nature of the matches in the record. The commentator could only draw on his own considerable experience to illustrate just how unusual this match was. Any Glory player with a bit of experience already knew that. Who hasn't dueled in the arena? What does 10 minutes even mean? Everyone knew the score. That was a fierce fight, and everyone saw it. All that commentary from the announcer was good for building hype, but it didn't really add much else. Everyone just kept their eyes glued to the match on the field.
Hey, who's gonna win?
Shen Guo tugged at Yishu's arm as she asked. This match was truly neck and neck, with no clear advantage to be seen. Chen Guo suspected her own skill level wasn't high enough to see it, which was why she was asking the more experienced Ye Shu for his opinion.
It's hard to say right now.
Why?
Still got plenty of health.
What do you mean?
Neither of them can seize full control right now. They've still got over a quarter of their health left, so a single opening won't be enough to clinch the win. They need to drag this out a bit longer, at least until they're in the red.
And after they're in the red?
Once they're in the red, a single high-damage ultimate skill will decide the match.
Shen Guo gave a nod, though it was clear she only half understood. Meanwhile, Tang Ru was watching this match with intense focus. Since Tang Ro was now playing a battle mage, she could watch this match with a bit of an insider's perspective. But her Soft Mist was still under level 40, missing many skills, so her insights were rather limited. But even from the low-level skills that Soft Mist also knew, Tang Ru could see a massive gap. Neither the players nor their characters could draw cheers from the crowd anymore. The match was too close, too intense, Every attack was launched only to be snuffed out by the opponent's counter. The audience would think a climax was coming, only to find their cheers were for nothing. After a while, all that empty cheering just got embarrassing. If you kept it up, wouldn't you just look like you had no class? The audience watched in silence, waiting for the match's outcome. It just hits you all of a sudden. Wow, both their life bars have dropped so much. Yet how exactly that life slips away, no one can see all the details. Many in the audience were left wondering just how intense this match really was. The two characters kept fighting, yet it felt like nothing was really happening, just the steady, undeniable fact of their life bars dropping. And so, more than 10 minutes passed. Suddenly, both characters' health bars flashed red, one after the other.
They're in the red.
Shen Guo shouted.
All right, the moment of truth is here. Watch closely.
The moment of truth, Yi Shu declared. Yi Shu wasn't the only one in the arena who understood this. On the pro player seats, everyone was now holding their breath, their gazes fixed. The previous dozen minutes were all just the setup. This final moment would be the climax, the one and only climax of the entire match, and also its end. After that final clash, one autumn leaf suddenly disengaged. At this decisive moment, he changed tactics, abandoning his relentless assault, leveraging the battle mage's buffs, his orbital state, and the high mobility from battle spirit. He began to circle, to stalk, waiting for the perfect moment to deliver a lethal blow. And Han Wenqing, in these final moments, he doubled down on the relentless, aggressive assault that had always been his hallmark. The long silent audience erupted into screams and applause after this change. To the eyes of the audience who couldn't fully grasp the intricacies, Han Wenqing had suddenly seized a commanding advantage. The crowd's cheers were for the wrong reason, but they were perfectly timed all the same. And the climax of the match was indeed about to begin.